Okay, so now that we got everything assembled there, there's an embellishment that we're not going to show in the video, okay? Just because I've got to get going. And the embellishment has to do with popping these little covers out. In fact, I'll show you how to do it, and then you guys can just do it, or you may decide you don't want to do it. A lot of times these little embellishments you don't want to add until you've vetted if the plane is going to be a good plane. These things do look pretty awesome though. Okay, so the longer one is supposed to go toward the fuse. Yep. And what they're saying to do is drop these things in. Can you see that pretty good there? And then you're supposed to CA this thing with medium CA and just drop it back in like so. And that is pretty awesome, I must say. I could have my helper go down and get that. The black cap CA and the kicker. Why don't you go do that, helper? You know where it is? The black cap. It's on my workbench. So there. These things have a little piece of double-sided tape on either side, and they're just basically holding these guns in. Now these don't really look like guns to me, but whatever. I guess that's probably the way the cannons look. They're not guns, they're cannons after all. So I'm gonna have him run down there and get that so we can get that done. And it looks like the next step after that is gonna be to put on the prop and spinner. Then we're gonna bind, we're gonna turn on safe select, and then we're gonna be done. And this plane is gonna be ready to fly. And that's what's so cool about a Horizon product. And 78 millimeters back from the leading edge. We could go ahead and get that marked too. So why don't we go ahead and mark that right now so we can test it here in a minute. All right, guys, so 78 millimeters back from the leading edge of the wing. Okay, sometimes it's ambiguous because of sweep on a wing. So as you know, millimeters, so 78 millimeters would be 7.8 centimeters. This is a centimeter ruler and an inch ruler. So I'm gonna take, and preferably I won't mark it because I'll find an object that I can touch. Okay, so I'm gonna take this ruler and I'm gonna use my finger as the straight edge. And I'm going to bring it back to where 78 is. Okay, so there's 78, but we have to kind of imagine it from the wing root, where that would be. So that's why there's a little bit of ambiguity here. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 78 is to here, okay? So now I can take this and I can run it to where I'm going to practically get my fingers to. And I'm just going to say this screw is the CG point, okay? There's a screw on that landing gear. Now, some people are going to say, oh no, you don't CG it that way, Brian, because it's, you know, you want to flip it upside down and flip it so that it's upside down and CG it that way. Well, whatever trips your trigger, people. Remember, you're testing CG with battery, and so we can't really test the CG, but I just skipped ahead to wait for my helper to get the CA, which is this CA here. It's a medium foam safe product. Make sure you're using foam safe. If you don't use foam safe, you're going to have problems. And let's go ahead and just visually inspect something here. I might go ahead and rotate you guys so you can get a better view of this here. Okay, so we're just going to switch it over here. And the CA, we're just going to run a little strip of it here, a little strip down, a little strip over, a little strip on the back. Okay, and then we're also going to take, and we're going to grab and just do a little bit of CA along the top. Remember, this is not like some structural member that you have to worry about it popping out, or the plane's going to crash or something like that. The other thing too is I have kicker with me, and I might go ahead and use it on the top side, but I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about using it on the bottom side, just for the simple fact that it'll cure a little bit better if you don't use kicker. Okay, so we're going to kicker that, and we're going to quickly get the bottom on. We're just going to let it set for about count to 5. That thing's solid. Okay. Then this thing here, same story, same setup. And why don't we go ahead and pause it, and we'll just show them when we're done. Oh. Why don't you move your chair then? My helper's giving me some feedback. He's professional. Paused.
Oh.
Okay, guys. Sorry about that mishap there. All right, so we got this all together. Basically, our next step is going to be to get the prop on, and then this thing is going to be ready to bind and turn on the safe select, and then we'll be done with the build video. And the next video we'll follow will be a flight video. Okay, so we got everything assembled except for the nose, and just make sure everything's solid. Make sure we're not going to get glue stuck together. Just double checking stuff. Okay, so now they're giving us the bind procedure, which, you know what, might not be a bad idea to do this bind procedure while we've got the prop off, just for security of the aircraft not taking off on us. So I guess we can do that now. Why don't we go ahead and do that now? So I'll pause it for a second. All right, folks, one thing you need to be careful about on this next step is keep your plane level. Keep its attitude, pitch, roll, all that stuff as level as you can. It's handy because you're going to be initiating the safe. Turn your radio on, throttle cut. I don't have the prop, doesn't really matter yet, but it doesn't matter because you just want to be in a good habit. Got everything ready to go. Battery is inserted. It's not started yet. Okay, the bind plug is plugged in, and there is a certain set of instructions that you follow to initiate with safe and a certain set without safe, okay? So I'm just going to show you this page. You can pause it. If you haven't already done this before, it's a little bit tricky, but it's not that big a deal. Pause it if you want. Pause it if you want. Pause it if you want. And then whatever that is. That doesn't matter. Okay, so we're just going to follow the instructions. We're going to have safe on our D switch here, okay? We're going to assign that after the fact. Turning safe off is a little bit different situation. So you install the bind plug, you power it up, and then you bind your radio. So I'm just going to follow the instructions. We're going to turn safe on. There's two sets of instructions. Make sure the transmitter's powered off. Okay, it's off. Move the transmitter controls to neutral flight controls. That means you want throttle down, rudder center. This is going to be the fail-safe mode for the AS3X receiver. When you have a loss of communication, it's going to go to the whatever attitude it's supposed to be at. It may not stay level because there's probably an issue at that point. If you have safe activated at that point, that would be good. So whatever safe condition you want the switch in the position that would be safe. So if you're like me, you always have your switches in a fail-safe condition. Make sure your gear switch is down. You want the gear to come down like you're going to land, okay? Throttle cut is on. That's a fail-safe. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, so everything is in the position I want it to be in, including my rockers, including my sliders. They don't matter. They're not going to be of consequence in this application, but you still want to be centered. Later on, if you add something, it'll be centered still. Okay. Make sure the transmitter's off. Move the transmitter controls to neutral. Install the bind plug. It's already there. Place the aircraft on its wheels, so it's kind of hard to do that when you have wheels out. That's why I leveled it. Remove the bind plug from the port. Okay, place the aircraft on its wheels, connect the flight battery to the ESC, then turn on the switch. There's no switch. Stupid. Okay, so I just know how to do this. It's not really that hard. You just plug in the battery. You wait for the receiver to start flickering like it does. It's flickering now. It's waiting for the bind. It's going to beep, but it's going to fail to start. You're going to hold the bind switch. You're going to turn this thing on. It's going to come up. It's going to say binding DSM 22 milliseconds. Bind failed. Okay, so let go of the bind switch. Unplug the thing. Plug this back in. Okay, plugged in. Waiting for it to initiate, holding down the bind plug, pressing the power switch up while holding the bind plug. Binding, Spitfire 1.2 DSM X, 22 milliseconds telemetry. Okay, at this point you can let go of the bind switch, the thing turns on. I usually, as a measure of security for the equipment, you want to be careful. At this point you can go ahead and open the retractable landing gear, cycle your gear. Gear come down. Awesome! Oh, that is so cool, guys. I love it. Love it. Okay, flaps. Whoops, flaps. Okay, so gear. Let's get this out of here. We got the gear. We got the gear. Oh, that is so sweet. Okay, flaps. Flaps. Oh, that is so awesome, guys. Looks sweet. Okay, rudder, elevator, ailerons. Okay, gear down. Okay, so now at this point, steerable. Okay, throttle cuts off. Throttle's working. It's moving in a counterclockwise rotation axis. That's what we want. Okay, so everything is done. One step we have to turn on is safe select. We have to switch whatever switch we want. In my case, I'm going to switch this one. This is the one I want. So what we're going to do is we're going to, important, before assigning desired switch, ensure the travel further is set to 100%, which it is. Okay, so bind the aircraft to the safe. Okay, hold both transmitter sticks to the inside bottom corners and toggle the desired switch 5 times. Okay, so. Okay, so that did not work. Safe select and can be easily assigned. Okay, I wonder if I did this wrong because there's actually, this is a 3-position switch. Before assigning the desired switch, ensure the travel, okay, bind the aircraft correctly to the active safe select system. Okay, hold both transmitter sticks to the inside bottom corners and toggle the desired switch 5 times to assign the switch. The control surfaces of the aircraft will move, indicating the switch has been selected. Okay, we're going to try again. I'm just going to keep going. It's not working. Oh, throttle cut is off. That was 5 times. Ooh. Throttle cuts off. Okay. So we're going to try this again. This is mode 1 and mode 2 transmitters. You're supposed to have the sticks all the way down and in, all the way down and in. Okay, so it didn't work. So we're going to investigate why that's not working. Or we could just check and see if AS3X is working. Safe is not working. Okay, pause it. Alright, so I pulled the bind plug out this time. We're going to try it again. Throttle cuts on. Okay, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to try again. I made a mistake on my switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing. Dang it, guys. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and unpower the pack. We're going to let it de-energize. We're going to shut this thing off. We're going to go from fresh virgin startup, okay? So startup. Normally you turn on your radio. Then you plug in your pack once the RF comes on, which is the light indicates RF is on the radio frequency. Okay, so it's on. Let it initiate. Okay, all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing. Okay, guys, at this point, I'm going to put this spinner on, and then I'll deal with the safe select here in a little bit. Okay, so the first piece is you drop on that bottom part, okay? Very simple. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to put the prop on. The prop goes one way. The color faces you. If you put it on backward, it's going to be very inefficient. Okay? Then you're going to take this thing. This is the spinner adapter here. And this thing is going to go on like so. So just turn that on. I've got the screw in there right now just because I didn't want to lose it. And then you're going to take some sort of a tool like an Allen wrench, for instance. And you're going to take that Allen wrench and you're going to stick it in there and you're going to torque it down to an appropriately strong torque. Everything's solid. And then you're just going to take this and you're going to drop it in. It slides in. There's a keyway all the way around. And then you're going to take and slide this in. Okay, I know what I did wrong on my bind mode, guys. We'll redo it here in just a second. It's super easy. I just have to pull out the bind switch before I actually do the actual bind. No big deal, it's super easy to do, and then that other mode will work, where we hold the sticks down. Okay, so once this is tight, which it feels like it's tight now, now we can go ahead and get this corrected. Okay, so disconnect the power. Throttle cut is on, so we'll be safe, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna put in the bind switch, shut off our radio, plug in the radio, or plug in the airplane, let the initiation start, unplug the bind switch, hold the bind switch down, get out of the way of the prop, hold the plane, turn on your transmitter. It's going to rebind, binding, DSMX 22 milliseconds, telemetry. Wait for the startup, make sure your prop doesn't take off on you. Let go of the bind switch. Now, okay, so it's active. Throttle cut is on. Throttle's not going to go. Good, that's what we want. Everything's working. So now we need to do sticks down, sticks in. Assign, 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 assign. Oh, come on. Down, down, up, down. Okay. Guys, we'll revisit that later. I'll add a video to this playlist, so just look at the description and I'll have it in the description for you. But, and obviously I got to do a little bit of work to get that XT60 in there too, but what a beautiful, beautiful plane, guys. I can't wait to share the experience of flying this for the maiden with you, and it's going to be something else. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can stop it now.